All right, hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman here on this glorious Tuesday night. I just got back from a class down in Memphis with Emory Morgenstern. We had a nice little private class down there. My phone is already dinging. Did Nick get my link thing sorted? All right, hope so. Hope so. All right, sorry guys, a note from one of my moderators. Hey, speaking of moderators, I've got a bunch of moderators here. If you are new to our live stream, I'm gonna ask you guys, try to keep the chat room PG-13, okay? I don't ask for much. If you're a troll, I invite you, number one, first to secure your own airway by criking yourself with your local pocket knife. But other than that, understand my moderators will put you in timeout for, I think, 300 seconds is how it works. And then after that, you'll just be blocked forever and you'll have to start a new Google account. Please don't troll my live stream here, guys, all right? This is a place for like-minded people to come hang out, and we talk about current events and things that are going on in our world and everything. We got our sponsor back again tonight, Venture Surplus. Their motto is Venture Surplus brings the Army Surplus store to your door. So if you like going to Army Surplus stores, who doesn't? All right, at least I did. All right, but you don't live near a military base or somewhere that has an Army Surplus store, you can go online, venturesurplus.com, and they've got lots and lots of cool stuff. I actually hit them up for a promo code. Man, I cannot remember what it is. Shit. I'll put it in the chat room. I'll put it in the description under the video. Sorry, the guys watching it live, you're screwed. Watching it tomorrow, I actually got a discount code for you guys. Affiliate code so they'll know I sent them. But anyways, you would think I would be better at this laundry stuff. They got free shipping, returns, all that stuff, and they'll take good care of you. So anyways, I want to thank Venture Surplus for sponsoring us here tonight. Anyways, you guys know how live streams work. This is a chance for me to interact with you guys. So if you have questions, if you look over here where your chat window is, you'll see down bottom there's a $sign. That is what's called a super chat. If you want your question to pop up in a bright color on my screen to make sure that I don't miss it, you can just click, click $200 and or a dollar, either way. No big deal, and send questions. Honestly, guys, if you do super chat, that's awesome. All right, that helps support my ammo habit. But if you don't do super chat, if you got a legitimate question, just put it in the chat room, and I will have your questions sent to me via my moderators. Right, this is from last week. My moderators will send me the questions, and we'll get you guys some questions answered. I think you guys can hear me okay. Nobody's bitching yet. All right. That's some good coffee, guys. I am drinking. I got it. Five Stone Frontline Coffees. He is good people, and local guy here in Kentucky. And you go to fivestonefrontlinecoffee.com. Just Google it. And we have a code for him, TR10. I think saves you 10% or something like that. Where's that? Where'd it go? Five Stone Frontline Coffee, TR10 saves you 10%, right? Full disclosure, I don't make a dime off of it. Don't make a dime off of it. So why do I support them? One, it's good coffee. But two, honestly, because he takes a lot of this money and he goes and does missionary work overseas, Africa, places like that, where honestly they just don't have a lot going on. And, it's some tragic areas that we go to. All right. My phone is dinged. My first one is from the Gustash 2531. Man, your mama must have had a bunch of kids. No question, he just threw down $2. I'm all about that. I want to thank Mike, you know who you are. Mike sent me a bottle of El Padrino. This is vanilla chai tequila cream. And when I made my coffee, I was running a little low on creamer, and because we had a bunch of company over this morning. I have this Italian cream that you froth up with the espresso machine. So anyways, a little cream for my coffee. You guys don't want me drinking straight coffee this late at night, right? So you know I started off with 8 shots of espresso, and from there I cream it up a little bit. Look at that. Look at that right there. Look at that. Brought that puppy right up to the top. That is a good cup of coffee right there. All right. Got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about you guys tonight. Real quick though, did you hear that clink when I put my cup down? Did you hear that? Can you guys hear that? Yeah, you can hear that. What that is I have another one of you guys sent me I don't know, I'm not catching that in the light right, but made me no shit slate coasters, and made me 2 different designs. I'm really partial to this one, right? But the other one is, some people prefer black coasters, but I think that looks totally badass. And his name's Jake Snyder, and Snyder Precision Engraving is his Instagram handle. That's kind of what Jake does. But if you guys would like to get your hands on one of these Tactical Rifleman coasters, they're totally badass. They got the little rubber feet on the bottom, and yeah, they got the logo and all that stuff. Totally cool. So anyway, Jake, thank you so much for sending them to me. I think I'm gonna give one to Randy and Steve, but we're gonna do a giveaway tonight, and I'm keeping one of them. This puppy right here is staying on my desk. That's my new favorite coffee coaster for my desk. I got a nice mahogany desk, guys, in my office. But this one right here, we are going to do a giveaway. All right. But I'll tell you what, let's wait, because we don't have that many people here right now. And we definitely don't have enough likes going on. But so we'll wait. Let's go for, let's wait. Let's do it 8 o'clock. You want to do it 8 o'clock? If I can have somebody remind me about 8 o'clock, we will go do us let's do us a giveaway. I'm good with that. If you guys are good with it, I'm good with it. We had another question come in. This one is from JT Yersley. JT threw down 5 bones. My super chat was screwed up for a while testing it. Your test did not go through correctly. I know you were wanting to give a $50 donation to the preservation of Carl Erickson Foundation. It only came through as a $5 donation. But at least it did register, JT. I'm here for you, brother. I'm here for you. That's awesome. Thank you, JT. You know, guys, honest, you don't have to pay money. You really don't, to ask questions here. Yeah, you definitely don't have to do that. So we were talking about how we had just filmed. I was sick as a dog too. We had just filmed 4 days straight Tactical Rifleman videos. We actually got 14 videos done, 14 of them. Now, when I say filmed, you notice I'm in my man room right now. The pictures are not where they normally are. There's usually a couch behind me here. But I've got lighting set up here, another row of lighting here and everything, and this table. So before I put all the furniture away, because I didn't have time, I literally jumped. When the film crew left, me and Emery left the very next morning to go down to Memphis to teach a class to a bunch of really, really great Americans out of the New York, Connecticut area there. Great bunch of guys. Oh, we had some great food. There's some really great restaurants in Memphis. We had, Emery took them out on the driving track in the intercepted cop cars. We did pistols, we did carbines, we did a run and gun, Hogan's Alley type thing with the M4s. We did some full auto AKs. We did a little bit of escapology. We got into some of the high-risk travel stuff. We knocked out some tactical combat casualty care medical stuff, tourniquets and things like that. And then we did explosive breaching. I can't do it here because my BATFE explosives license is only good in the state of Arkansas. So we say Memphis. They stayed in Memphis, but Tier 1 group is actually in West Memphis, which is in Arkansas across the Mississippi. And so we had a great time. We took a bucket, 50-pound bucket of ammonium nitrate fertilizer, and primed it with a block of Semtex, which is a Petin-based explosive. Primed it with a Yuli knot because I don't like putting blasting caps underwater. Primed it with a Yuli knot on some 50-grain det cord, sunk it down in the little creek bed there, touched that puppy off, and we blew a water plume. Oh shit, probably went 600-700 feet in the air. It was beautiful, beautiful. From there, we went over, and there was a car illegally parked over in the wadi where we do our heavy breaching. And I say illegally parked. The mechanics put the car there for me. It was one of their target cars, and we used a bunch of different explosives. We used Helix. We used ECT. A little bit of C4, a few other things, and the logo of one of this guy's companies has a big A in the logo, so I took some 25-grain det cord because 50 grain will cut through the hood of the vehicle, but 25 grain won't, and made a nice A on the hood out of 25-grain det cord, and you got to know how to connect everything so it looks nice and pretty. Touched it all off together. We sent that car flying everywhere. But there, perfect to take a group photo around, was the destroyed car with the perfect hood with the A pressed right into the metal. Wrapped it up with a nice little force-on-force mission. They went and did a hostage rescue. We rolled up using UTM. It was actually simunitions. The role players only had blanks. That way my clients didn't have to worry about getting shot. And we had a great time, great time. Nice little 4-day course. And it was a good time. It was a good time. Me and Emery always enjoy full-length classes on one particular subject, but if you've got a bunch of guys that want to come do small tastes of a little bit of all these different subjects that we can teach, it's a good time. It was a really good time. We enjoyed it. Good to be back home in Kentucky, though. I got back here just in time for a big snowstorm. I've got snow outside to take the puppies out in the Jeep, run down to Sonic, get my dogs their 4 quarter-pound double cheeseburgers plain, and we had a good time. We did. Let's see what else here. This one is from Dougie23. Hi, Carl. Are there any updates on I accidentally closed it down, on a tactical rifleman belt from ATS Tactical Gear? Yeah, it's been blessed off on. It's already been approved. You should be able to reach out to ATS Tactical Gear and tell them that you want it. Now, they'll sell you just a tactical rifleman belt, but you can get the whole kit that comes with basically everything, all the pouches, including the lowrider piece for your Safariland holster. It does not come with the holster, though, because there's no way we could tell which holster for which gun, with which optic, with which flashlight you're running. So it comes with basically everything. Yeah, that's available at ATS Tactical Gear. Next one's from the Gustash 2531, threw down 10 bones. Sir, I've been shooting 26 years, but now the hotness is holding your rifle with a C-clamp. Should I change my hold and training or continue to shoot my rifle as I have been for 26 years? Law enforcement. Here's the deal. The latest hotness, the C-grip, understand that for a while guys were running G-Money grips up front simply because we had flashlights and PQ2s and IR illuminators and all this other stuff covering the rest of the gun. There are advantages to running a foregrip. All right, there are advantages to running a C-grip. there are advantages to putting that thumb forward. So you basically just point the thumb at the bad guys. That's different than the C grip. All right. It all comes down to whatever you want to do. What I will encourage people, though, is one, I want to caution you that just because it's the latest hotness now does not mean it wasn't the latest hotness 10 years ago or 15 years ago. All right. A lot of the hotness comes and goes. An example of that is the tall risers on ARs. I understand that's the latest hotness right now. It was the latest hotness in 2003. It was the latest hotness in 99 also. These things come and go. So don't get sucked into just the latest hotness. That said, I will challenge everybody, give these new techniques a try. All right, so whether you're doing thumb forward, holding it under, whether you're doing the C grip, whether you're doing a pistol grip, whether you're holding on the front of the mag well. I'm not big on the front of the mag well because if you have a round detonate in the chamber, that is always the part of the lower receiver that blows apart. In other words, when your gun blows up catastrophically, maybe you had a squib or whatever, it is always the bolt, the chamber, and the front of the low receiver that detonate. So I'm not big on holding the front of the mag well. Also, their argument is that the further forward you hold the gun, the better you can maneuver the weapon around. There is some truth to that. There is. And if you don't believe me, hold a pool stick way down at one end with both hands and try to switch from one part on the wall to another real quick. And what you'll find is if you slide one hand further out on the pool stick, you'll be able to move much more accurately. So there is truth to that. However, I'm not big on getting the arm way out there too far because one, a lot of weapons are not that long, but two, you need to be able to fight with the gun. All right. So remember, especially if you're training for combat and not just competitive shooting. Competitive shooting is paper targets and steel. Nobody is shooting back at you. But combat, and honest, 9 out of 10 bad guys don't warrant deadly force, and you're going to end up having to beat them down and go hands-on. So you need to be able to practice. What I have in my exercise room, guys, is a heavy bag, and those of you that have been in my house, you've seen it. It is completely wrapped up with, I don't know how many rolls of duct tape, because every time I get a new hole in it, and I don't like stab it with knives. I'm not that mental. But just striking it, hitting it with the sticks when I'm doing Cali or doing muzzle strikes with one of my rifles, it wears on a heavy bag more than just punching. So no big deal. You don't keep buying new heavy bags. You wrap the puppy with duct tape and you'll be fine. All right, but try it. Try the C grip. I know you've been shooting for 26 years, okay, but we all want to be better, and try it. But if you don't like it, you can always go back to what you did before. Woo, that's some good coffee right there. Good coffee. All right, that was from the Gustache. Got more questions coming in. All right. Next one's from Annalise and Kyle Beeler. Hey, Carl, what's the difference between Operational Detachment Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie? All right. Excellent question. You guys will hear the term A-Team. For example, this picture behind me, Special Forces A Detachment. That is a Operational Detachment Alpha. This picture was actually taken back in Vietnam, and it's out of a Time magazine, believe it or not. And you've got all your guys in a row there. You'll find that there's one captain in the picture, one warrant officer, one master sergeant, and then everybody else are either staff sergeants or sergeants first class. You've got 2 weapons guys, 2 engineers, your demo guys, 2 medics, 2 commo guys, 1 intel guy, and then your warrant officer, your team sergeant, and your captain, the detachment commander. That is a detachment Alpha. what we call an A team. Now, in every special forces company, there are 6 A teams in a company. All right. Now, at the top of the company, that company headquarters is what we call the B team. That is your company commander, who's a major. You have your company sergeant major. You'll have another captain. That is the executive officer, the XO. You'll have the company warrant officer, and then you'll have a few other guys, your supply sergeant, stuff like that. Now, and then above them, right, that's a company, and then above them at battalion is where you have, your battalion commander, and then he's got 3 companies, 3 Green Beret companies and 1 support company underneath him. All right, and then up at group headquarters. Now, but when we're deployed, the smallest unit that will get set off like their own, a good example is 2004, my A team was assigned to Camp Fallujah. Camp Fallujah was right outside the city of Fallujah. It was a Marine base, and on that base were 2,000 Marines, so I could sleep well at night. And they were all in one area, but still inside their base, but off to the side was my little compound. And all the bad guys thought that we were the CIA because we always walked around in civilian clothes. Now, my A team was supported by a B team, but it wasn't my company B team. My B team was actually out in Ramadi. The B team that supported me, they had their own safe house there in Ramadi, and their job was, besides kind of doing what the Green Berets were doing everywhere else, they were the logistics hub. So if I needed anything to support my mission, they would support us. The C team, right, that battalion headquarters level stuff was actually in Baghdad, and they had the job of taking care of basically all the Green Berets in that entire portion of the country. So there was one C team way down south, there was one C team in Baghdad, there was another C team way up north. And the funny part though was you had Baghdad here, all right? As you look at it on the map, you had Fallujah right here, and then over here was Ramadi. So technically Ramadi was supposed to support me, but everything that I needed, they didn't have, so it all had to come from Baghdad. So instead of Baghdad bringing it to Ramadi and then Ramadi bringing it to me, that highway that ran all the way from Baghdad to Ramadi, that was all cowboys and Indians, and most of the time, they were scared to go out there because all the convoys were getting hit by bad guys. If you didn't have a big Marine presence on your convoy, you didn't go out. So what we would do is we'd tell the B team in Ramadi, hey, we're going to go to Baghdad and pick up our stuff. We can't wait. I need this stuff. So we would dress up in our man dresses, in our little Bedouin pickup trucks. I actually don't have a picture of it here. But you guys have seen pictures of me with my Tom Selleck mustache, my keffiyeh. My man dress had a 1/4-inch Velcro down the front of it, and that's so I could get to my body armor and my gun belt. And I drove my little Bedouin pickup truck. We'd have our blue Bongo truck behind us. We had a little 3-cylinder Opel, a couple other cars, and my whole A team, we'd ride down to Baghdad, pick up all of our supplies and stuff. We'd go hit the PX, and Chris Papard, my head engineer, he had the Op Fund credit card, and he'd go into the PX, and the Marines in there, trying to figure out if he can afford, a whole case of Dr. Pepper. And Chris Papard would go in with the credit card and say, I'll take that whole pallet of Dr. Pepper, that whole pallet of Monsters, that whole pallet of Red Bull, that whole pallet of Mountain Dew, that whole pallet of Starbucks double shots, and put them all in my truck outside. And thank you, taxpayers, for paying for all that stuff. I couldn't tell you what color the walls were in my safe house. They were all supplies. In case we had to circle the wagons, you just never knew. Never knew. You don't want to run out of Monsters in the middle of a gunfight. Coffee is better when it's hot, right? It was hot when I brought it down. I came down a couple minutes early. But even at room temperature, even at room temperature, a good latte or a good cappuccino that's sweetened up just a little bit, especially with those 6 extra shots. When they make it, you'd normally put 2 shots in it. I got that, but with the 6 extra shots, that puppy starts getting a little thick. And what I've found, coffee's more bitter when it's cold or at room temperature than when it's hot. So what I've found is if you add a little bit of extra sweetener to it, you can always get rid of that bitterness. That's some good coffee right there. Oh yeah. All right, guys, so y'all keep the questions coming. Okay, all right, we got a couple more coming in here. Let's see what we got. All right. Annalise, I hope I covered that good enough for you. I really do. All right. Question. That font's really, really small on this one. All right. I missed that. And my Kraken knives keep falling out. That font's really small on my phone, guys. I can put my glasses on. Oh, okay. One of my Kraken knives keeps falling out of its holster. Is there anything you can do to tighten the end and lock it in somehow? Yeah, what she's talking about is Kraken Tactical. You guys know we love Kraken Tactical. He makes my Tactical Rifleman Patreon knife for me. He made Randy's damn cowboy knife. But you guys got to remember, Kraken is a new knife maker who's constantly getting better and better and better. And that's why we support him, because he was a carpenter that fell off a ladder and got hurt at work and can't work anymore. All right, so rather than being a deadbeat living off the government, he's, no joke, jumped in both feet and pursued a passion that he had. The reason why I say that is some of his first knives, I looked at them like, okay, if this was a homemade knife, this is a good knife, but there's room for improvement. So instead of saying, no, this is junk and throwing it away, I reached out to Kraken and gave him constructive criticism. And I keep doing that for him, and his knives keep getting better and better and better and better. I have no doubt that a couple years from now, Kraken will be a world-renowned knife maker, right? And it's a cool novelty that it comes from Australia. But some of his knives, the sheath, he molds his own Kydex sheath. Sometimes they don't lock on properly. All right, so, and a lot of you guys might not know this. For example, I had a sheath that came at a knife that came with a nylon scabbard, which was total junk. And I wanted a Kydex sheath for it. And but I had another knife that was up behind glass. I've got 2 of the bookshelves on my library over there are just knives, and that I have received as gifts. You can only carry so many knives. So I put them behind plexiglass, but I had all the leftover scabbards and sheaths and stuff. So I took a Kydex sheath that was similar sized and just hit it with a heat gun and make your own little mold out of some towels and 2x4s, some clamps, and you can actually make your own Kydex sheath for just about anything. I made one in Baghdad for a set of brass knuckles that I had so that I could have a sheath on my body armor. So if I needed brass knuckles to deal, because you understand sometimes arm bars and things like that, the guys don't want to comply. Sometimes the best thing is blunt trauma. That's just real. I'm not going to shoot the guy if he doesn't warrant deadly force. All right, you got the guy in an armbar, still not cooperating. You need the guy to be compliant. Blunt trauma to the head is usually what I have found, what I was taught in school to make somebody compliant is blunt trauma to the skull. So Anyways, long story short, I made a Kydex scabbard that allowed me, for a set of brass knuckles, that allowed me to get one finger in to pull it out into my hand. And you just show it to them. You don't have to actually hit them with it. You just show it to them and they become very compliant because it had spikes on the knuckles. You know, the cheap souvenir ones, you find it all, cheap with the spikes. You don't have to hit people with it. They get very compliant when you show it to them. All right. My point for saying that is if you have a Kydex sheath that is not perfect, you can take a lighter, all right? A heat gun would be better. In your case, if you a hair dryer, I don't know, some of you metrosexual guys out there might own a hair dryer, but if you're just trying to crease just the end of it, you can actually heat it up and take your oven mitts. All right. Better if you have a whole Kydex press. You probably don't if you're asking me how to do this. Heat it up with a lighter and pinch it with your oven mitts and just hold it till it cools. And that should help you out without a doubt. All right. Got another question just came in. All right. All kinds of crazy shit you learn on live streams, right? Big Fezzik, Susan, question for Carl. No shit. Any different on how to lube a gun for the winter? Right, that's such a trivial question, right? Because it really doesn't matter. Oil's oil. Not true, right? What we found was in this desert in the hot sun, where a lot of people will swear you just use gun grease on just the lugs of like bolt guns and stuff like that. In the hot desert, that gun grease just turns to oil, runs off the bottom, but it's still there collecting dust, but it's no longer lubricating the parts that you need. So if you're going to use just grease on certain parts, make sure you have a grease that has a much, much, much higher melting point so that that 140-degree desert doesn't do it for you, all right? It's the exact same thing going in opposite direction into the winter. What they found were certain, because you understand metals can contract and expand with heat and cold, right? So they get tighter, your tolerances and everything, the guns get stiffer. So find yourself oils that are actually rated. You can actually Google it and look up what brands are recommended for Arctic operations. I will tell you, I do not have one off the top of my head that I recommend to you because what I found, all the temperatures that I always worked in, the military CLP, cleaner lubricant and preservative, military CLP, does good through all the temperatures that I've ever had to work in. I've got a box of little itty bitty bottles, and that box is 20 years old. I take a box, I put it into my gun kit and use it when I need it. And I want to say I've got 5 or 6 bottles left after 20 years because I don't overly lubricate my guns. In the middle of a class, if you're doing a lot of shooting, you understand in combat, you don't shoot near as much as you do in a tactical rifleman class. I have a lot of students, their guns will start to go down. We have a big spray bottle of break free, and that's an AR rifle is like a sloppy horse. She likes it hot and wet. The gun gets hot, you got to lubricate it a lot, and it will run like a champ. It really will. She'll never let you down, all right? But in the cold, you've got to use lubricants that will handle the cold better. Not all lubricants are created equal. So in other words, your LSAs, no. Your frog lube, no. Using gun grease on just your moving parts, again, I would say no. You guys know I use chapstick in classes to lubricate the touch points on my Glock pistol. I put chapstick on the lenses of my flashlights because when the carbon builds up, it's easy to clean off. I got that. That's still the same, but as far as using chapstick as a lubricant, it is good in the summertime, not in the winter. Get a good military rated for Arctic conditions gun oil. Funny how that cup that never goes down. It's never the never-ending cup of cappuccino. I love the sound of that. I really do. All right, here's another one just came in. This is from JT. Question for Carl. Is the Night Force ATAC-R worth the money in his opinion, or is there something better in its price range? I'm not familiar with ATAC-R. I know Night Force is sending us a couple of optics to try out. Primary Arms has already sent their 1:8 low power variable optic. EOTech sent their Voodoo low power variable optic. Vortex sent two, a 1:10 first focal plane and a 1:6 second focal plane. And then Leopold is supposed to be sending a couple, and Night Force is supposed to be sending a couple. And that's for a test that we're doing on low power variable optics. That video will be out in the future, say late spring, because I need time to beat on these things. I'm still waiting for Leopold to send me their scopes. Night Forces, I'm told, are already on the way. But I'm not familiar with that one, JT. I wish I was. I'm not going to just regurgitate stuff that I see people saying on the internet. I'm just not going to do it. All right, we are still not 8 o'clock yet. I'll tell you what. For my patrons, if you're one of my patrons, you didn't check Patreon today. Today the question and answer video came out. I do one of those once a month. We had some really, really great questions this month. We really did. But one of the things that I was talking about on there was I got this app on my phone. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Let me see if you can. It's this one right there. It's called Rific. You guys couldn't see that, could you? You couldn't see it. Anyway, let me put it up for you right there. Rific. That's the name of the app that I got on my phone. And we all bitch about social media, but what do we really bitch about? We really, really bitch about mainstream media and how they only give us the stories that their puppets tell them to give us. We want the real news, right? So you guys know my nephew Jamie, right? He married my niece, and he's been on a couple times doing Coffee with a Cop. Anyways, his brother is a cancer surgeon, and he's got a little bit of money and everything, and he's sick of the mainstream media stuff as much as you guys are. So what he did was, he doesn't like how Facebook puts a spin on everything, and Twitter puts a spin on things, and so what he did was he created this app called RYFFC. RIFC is what he calls it, RIFC. RYFFC. I don't know, but you can find it in the App Store. It's free app. But the gist behind it is anybody, including me, you'll see, like I posted one up a couple days ago. It was the anniversary of Mark Jackson's death. Mark Jackson was a weapons guy on my A-team. And may Mark rest in peace. He got killed in the global war on terror. He's first guy killed for First Group. He left my A-team because of his wife and went to First Group and was in, I think, the Philippines when he got killed. Anyways, it allows you, or me, it allows me to take a story from anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, NBC News, BBC, Al Jazeera, basically any, the Times, USA Today, whatever, any story from online, and you can riff that story and put it onto Riffsy. And anyways, he's only got like 100, I think he had 152 subscribers to it, which, okay. So I thought about it. It's like, if I start mentioning this on the live streams to my patrons, if nobody else gets on it but us, it's kind of like our own thing. So you guys, I encourage you to sign up. And again, you don't have to, not at all. But if you decide to, I scroll through the stuff. I do, and I get a kick out of it when people post stories that I know, like Maverick. Matter of fact, that's one from Maverick right there. You guys can't read that, can you? But anyways, I know who Maverick is. I know who Maverick is. So I'm not throwing his name. I'm not going to throw your name out there, dude. I'm not going to throw it. But anyways, it's kind of cool. And you can do, it's also got a button for what's called Citizen Reporter. In other words, you can, like, let's say you were there when the tornado hit. You can take a picture right there and then you post it with your little write-up. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. So anyways, if you want to check it out, RYFFC, RIFC, and I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So check it out if you want, or don't. And we're going to hang out one way or the other. All right, let me get back. I think I had a couple more come in. Jeff Bowman. Let's raise a glass to the 2 SEALs that died this week. Yeah, guys, if you didn't hear about it, there were a couple SEALs that were trying to board a ship from Iran heading to Somalia filled with rockets and stuff. And one of them fell off the caving ladder, the boarding ladder. And when he hit the water, apparently his buddy could tell he hit hard. So his buddy dove in to save him, and they're both lost. That's tragic. It's very tragic. You guys understand, you see special operations guys doing the scuba diving and the caving ladders and the helocasting and the parachuting and the halo jumps and shooting and blowing stuff up and riding on helicopters and Ospreys and all this other stuff. And you see so much of it that you just assume that, you know, this stuff is awesome, and it is awesome, but at the same time understand, you know, sometimes people call us adrenaline junkies, but we sign up for this stuff knowing that it is dangerous. Even in training, it's dangerous. The first time a Osprey landed at Area 4 in Baghdad, where the Iraqi counter-terrorist force was, my unit was there. I was out there talking to him on the radio, and we're supposed to have 3 Ospreys come in. And the first one came in, and he just stirred up all kinds of dust. The second one came in, took him forever to land. Now remember, we usually get like 12 or 14 helicopters to land there. All right, we got 1 Osprey, took forever to get the second one down. The third Osprey didn't even try. He went across the street and landed at Sadr Airport, that little Air Force base. And the crew chief comes walking off the back of the Osprey, and he just fired up a cigarette and bent over and went, whoo, it's so good to be on the ground. And I'm like, you know, dude, you're really not giving me a warm and fuzzy about getting on this thing tonight. He's like, man, it's so good to be back at Raptor Base. And I'm like, this is the first time a Osprey's ever been to Raptor Base. He's like, we used to have MH-53s. And I'm like, no shit, man. He goes, you guys were like, that. We used them in Afghanistan, all over Iraq, the Horn of Africa, everywhere. All the old MH-53s have been replaced with Ospreys. Now, don't get me wrong, the Osprey is a very, very capable helicopter, airplane, tilt rotor, whatever you want to call it. But like we just had another one crash. The Marines crash them, the Air Force crash them all the time. They are dangerous to get on. You just had some more helicopters crash. Guys, accidents happen all the time. So if you saw how many military people get killed a year just in training, it far exceeds who we were losing yearly in the global war on terror. Now, as pale as that sounds, if you totaled up all the service members that get killed every year in motor vehicle accidents, I bet it's 50 to 1 to one's killed in training. People get killed every weekend at every military base because they drive home on weekends. They want to go see their girlfriend Friday night, they've been up all day long for 5 days, and they go to drive home because she's 10 hours away, falls asleep at the wheel, wrecks his Camaro that he still owes 60 grand on, and he ends up becoming another statistic. You can die in a car wreck, or you can die in an Osprey crash, or you can die of old age. One thing's for sure, eventually you're going to die. So I'm not taking away from the SEALs getting killed. I think it's tragic. But don't be saying, well, we need to train them better, or we need to, heads got to roll. They shouldn't have been there. No, the reality is that's the job. They signed up for it. That's what they wanted to do. And it does suck. My heartfelt condolences go out to their families and their teammates. They're up in Valhalla right now talking shit around the campfire. That's the way I look at it. All right. Had another one come in right here. This is from Philip Wilson. He threw down 5 bones. Advice for etched reticle red dot with eye relief. Etched reticle red dot with eye relief. I've never heard of a red dot that has a etched reticle. I have a 1X micro prism from Primary Arms that you can illuminate the red dot. All right, I have a bunch and it is a etched dot reticle that's in there. I have a bunch of low power variable optics that you can dial down to 1X that has a etched reticle that you can illuminate as a red dot. But all etched reticles like that, they, especially a low power variable optic, they have a very limited eye box. In other words, you can't get closer than so many, 3/4 of an inch out to like 5 inches. Again, it depends on the type of optic that it is. Now, one thing I will tell you is that 1X micro prism, I have it set way, way forward. The eye relief window on that thing is insane. It's really awesome. And that allows me to keep a 3X magnifier behind it. Honest, Phil, just go back to the owner's manual that came with that optic. And if you threw it away, go online and you can probably pull it up as a PDF and check and see what the eye box, the eye relief is. It'll give you a minimum and a maximum, and then set up your stock and the optic so that your eye is right in the middle of that eye box. What I mean by middle is if they say minimum 3 inches, maximum 5 inches, set it up so when you're comfortable on the gun, that optic is 4 inches. If 3 is minimum, 5 is maximum, you want normal, comfortable for you to be right in the middle. And what that allows you to do is if you have to get too close shooting around a vehicle, or if you're going over a wall and you have to get a little bit further away, it will still work for you. That's about the best advice I can give for you right there. All right, guys, like I said, we are going to do a giveaway of the, this right here is that coaster, etched engraved coaster. I'm going to have Donut put the Snyder's, Jake Snyder's engraving website on there, but it's got the nice feet on the back and everything, and makes the perfect coaster for sitting on your desk. All right, no advertisement, doesn't say Tactical Rifleman or nothing. If you guys want to check out his Instagram page, it is Snyder Precision Engraving on Instagram, all one word. It's kind of cool, and we're going to give one of these away. I'll tell you what, let's get this started. All right, we're going to go to, let's see, I got 49 right now. We're going to draw it at 8 o'clock, and all you got to do is in the chat room, put capital T, capital R. That's it, TR, nothing else, TR. And you can enter a maximum of 3 times. I don't know how the computer does it, but they've got a program. One of my moderators, Susan, has a program that will randomly draw you guys into it. So let me start seeing those TRs start scrolling. And if you haven't gotten around to hitting the like button yet, this is the part where I remind you that there's a reason why your mama called you a punk. All right. Yeah. Wow. Not very many likes tonight. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't like me. If that was the case, you can always go over to the other YouTube channel, Knitting and Macrame on YouTube. You're welcome to go check that out at your own leisure. All right. We got another one here. Let's see what it is. This one is from Tracker. We are taking your no light, low light course this year. Can you go over the equipment and how to mount the PVS 14 on my helmet? Mount a PVS 14 on a helmet. Mount a PVS 14 on a helmet. Yes, I'll be right back. I got one, but it's out of arm's reach. Helmet, right? You guys got to have a helmet. All right. You got to have nods, binos. All right, let me put my mic back on here. All right. Get that all up in there. How's that? Can you guys hear me okay? All right. As far as mounting nods on a helmet, first thing you need a helmet mount that fits the mount on the front of your helmet. All I run is mil-spec stuff, so for me, I like running Wilcox mounts. Wilcox mount simply clips into the front, push your lever across, and it will run out just like that. Now, this particular mount right here is for running my binos. And it just clips right in. And you can move them in and out. You can tilt them up or down. And as far as raising them, all that stuff, spread them out. All right, a PVS 14 works very similar. Now, what I have is, this is a bridge that would mount in that same thing. Now, PVS 14, you're going to just have one. This is a PVS 14 on this side. This is a thermal monocular on the other. All right, so it allows you to basically run both at the same time. You don't need to do that. You really don't, guys. So if you took this one out of the way, basically what you're going to have is a PVS 14 that is just over one eye. And inside the green bag that comes with a PVS 14 is a head harness. It's even got a little chin strap, and it's got the arm, what they call the J arm, so you can move it from one eye over to the other eye. Works very, very well. It's not hard to do. Everything that you're going to need will be there at class. And if you don't have to bring a helmet, you can just use the mount that comes with it. Use the head harness with that J arm. And again, we'll be using Gen 2 Plus Ghost White Phosphor, brand new MVDs by AGM Global Vision. They've been nice enough to sponsor that class 2 times this year. One time in, I believe we're doing it in July, and again in December. Here's a cool part about this class is you show up, because I understand night vision is a big purchase, guys. You know, you're talking a lot of money for nods. Before you drop that money, it would be nice to play with it. So you come take the class, and the course costs the same as my other course, so $375 a day. And over that 2 days, it's at the Louisville Armory. First morning, we're doing white light on the guns, but right after lunch that first day, we start getting into the night vision. And we're going to talk about all the different kinds, the different generations. We're going to talk about thermals and digital, night vision, and all that. but the focus is primarily on I-squared, advantages, disadvantages, using it with pistols, using it with rifles, using it over one eye, using it over the other eye, using it over both eyes. They all have advantages and disadvantages. We're going to get deep into that. But the cool part is that at the end of the course, if you want to buy your set of nods, they're brand new. Remember, they're brand new. You can purchase your set of nods for my price, because I don't mark it up much at all, because I'm not a smart guy that wants to make money off of selling things. I want you to attend the course. I want to train people. So how low is the price? Basically, they have their Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and Delta discounts for sellers. Basically, if you're a dealer and you only sell so many units a year, you get the Alpha price. If you're like Brownells or night vision guys or someone like that that moves 1,000 units, you get the Delta price. And I'm not allowed to say what that price is, because they're guaranteed, all those other dealers are guaranteed that they have the lowest price. So, and they're not allowed to, that way, whatever they mark it up to, they can still be under everybody else. So anyways, just put it this way, you're gonna get a good deal on nods, but you've got to attend the class. The second day is all shooting, and we've got a small shootouts there where you'll be using simunitions. I provide the UTM bolts. Yeah, it's not simunitions, it's actually UTM, ultimate training munitions. And I know they're restricted. Civilians can't buy it anymore. It doesn't matter. You're allowed to have it. You just can't buy it according to the ATF. You don't have to. You'll shoot my ammo, and then however many rounds you shoot, that's just what you pay me back. So if you're doing single shots or hammered pairs in the shoot house, you're not going to shoot that much ammo. But if you're one of those that wants to do zipper drills on everything, okay, just understand, you shoot more ammo, you're going to be paying more. Not a big deal. Yeah, it is a good class. I took a night class once, night shooting class, and they had everybody show up at 8 p.m. after dinner. It didn't really get dark till almost 9 p.m. because it was a summer class. We shot till 1 o'clock in the morning, and then everybody went home. That 9 o'clock to 1, that's 4 hours, and everybody's tired as shit, worthless the next day. Nada. That's why I do this at an indoor shooting range. And we've got it all blocked out. So when I kill the lights, it is cave in Afghanistan dark, like dark. And we provide all the D-balls and aiming lasers, and you can't buy them. These are used units that I have. Don't get me wrong, if you guys have your own, IR flashlights and all this, you're welcome to bring. I would rather you train with your own stuff. But it is a great course, and it's 2 days long, a great course. It sold out like that last year. And I expect it to fill very quick. And yeah, especially, I haven't even been advertising it yet. So again, we're doing it twice. We're doing it in July, and I think the second one is December or late November, somewhere like that. Understand, you get that close to December, everybody's throwing their money at Christmas. You're not going to be wanting to spend that money on nods then. So if it behooves you, take the one in July, because it's too hot to shoot outside. It's an air-conditioned range. It's the perfect class to take in July. It really is. I look forward to seeing you there, man. And for everybody else, you're interested in it. Steve Holland, you guys know Steve. Steve has done a lot of development of night vision and everything. And after every block, he was like, because I taught all of it, and he's like, Carl, I forgot. He said, Carl, I did not realize how much I forgot about all of this stuff. You're mentioning all these things, advantages, disadvantages of having over one eye, advantages, disadvantages of having over the other eye. He's like, we learned all that trial and error back when we were privates, and I've never had to teach it. I'm like, Roger that, I got it. That's why it took me so long to build this class, because I had to put myself in the shoes of a brand new student. And yeah, it's a good course. I'm very, very proud of the class that we built. Low light, no light shooting. Again, it's an opportunity for you to get your own nods at a cheap price. Now, if you want binos, just understand, you tell me ahead of time, Carl, I want a different PVS 14, or I want a different set of BMVDs, or whatever. Okay, you'll still get my price on them, but if I'm ordering you something separate, you have to agree ahead of time that you are going to actually buy them. That is some good coffee. 5 Stone Frontier, guys. 5 Stone Frontline coffee. All right, another question. Nope, not going to do that one. We'll save that one for another day. All right, next one's from Matt Robinson. How you doing, Matt? Sir, which EOTech would you recommend for an old 66-year-old hillbilly on a 10-inch 5.56? Honest, when you look at EOTechs, you got basically 2 options. One is double A's, 2 double A's that point forward, or a CR123 battery that sits sideways. The advantage of the one sitting sideways is recoil of the gun. After about 60, 70,000 rounds, the springs wear out in the double A's, and from them bouncing back and forth so much. And you'll start having a optic that will flicker. No big deal. Send it back to EOTech. They send you another one, and you're good for another 60, 70,000 rounds. For me, overseas, that wasn't an option, so we switched to the CR123 one that ran sideways. That way, recoil doesn't matter. All right, that's one option that you have. And for some people in a survival situation, it's a lot easier to find AA batteries in America than it is to find CR123. So if that's your part of why you want this rifle, you may want to consider going with AA batteries. All right, that's one option when it comes to all the different types. All right, orientation of batteries, types of batteries. The other option is, and they've got different reticles in them. Just go with a regular EOTech reticle. All right, but the other option is, does it have the night vision option or not? One thing I will tell you is I've never, not one time in my life in combat, ever turned on the night vision option. Never used it. Just didn't need it. So for me personally, when I sent an EOTech back to get replaced by EOTech, they actually asked me, because they know I have a YouTube channel. They're like, hey, you want one that's got the night vision? I'm like, no, just send me back the cheap one without the night vision setting. And the reason why I'm saying that is, I don't want you to have to pay more if you're never going to use the night vision setting. It's the rest of the unit itself, there's zero difference at all. Zero difference. So long as you've got the metal shell on the outside, the big glass, and the donut of death, it is an EOTech, and it will serve you very, 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 very well. The cool part about an EOTech, guys, is, and what they're finding in Ukraine, for example, right? Because remember, back in the day, AKs, that's what they were all using. Fast forward now, all the Ukrainians, because they've been getting all this money under the table, they've been putting optics on all their rifles. The problem with a red dot is you can see from the front, you can see that red emitter. You guys don't ever see it because you shoot paper and you shoot steel, and they aren't shooting back at you. But if you start doing force on force, with guys, especially in shoot houses and stuff, really dark shoot house. When that guy swings a gun up on you, there'll be a red dot right there. Same thing with your pistol optics. I can't pull my, I'm trying to see if I have an optic here nearby. I do not. I'm not allowed to touch guns on a live stream. It's a YouTube rule. Why? Because YouTube are, what's that medical term? A bunch of panty-waisted vaginas, and they're scared of guns. So I'm not allowed to touch guns on a live stream. But same thing with your reflex sights on your pistols. You can see that emitter from the front. You can't do that on an EOTech. From an EOTech holographic weapon sight, you cannot see that emitter from the front. And understand you'd have to be so close in the dark, laying prone, trying to hide. And but I want every advantage I can over the enemy. Now understand the other thing that's biting them in the ass in Ukraine, biting a lot of Russians in the ass, is the Ukrainians went all out on handheld thermals. They went all out on handheld thermals, and they're able to pan around and like, there's a guy right there. And then pop, and that guy thinks he's perfectly hid behind the tree waiting for you to walk a little further, and you end up getting the drop on him because of thermals. I actually went over, and I know this just started, but you remember when the initial thing happened in 2014? I went to Ukraine in 2015, and the border was pretty stable by then. I went to Kyiv, and I went over there with a night vision company, basically to talk sniper operations, but more specifically sniper operations in the dark. And it was kind of weird because every Ukrainian unit sitting there, they had their master sniper, and behind him was the no shit general from that unit. The next master sniper with his general standing behind him. And it went all the way around. I had all these master snipers and all their generals. And they're like, Carl, you know, if you were, what do you think about doing this? And I'm like, yeah, we did that a lot in Najaf back in 2004. Carl, you have done this. I'm like, yeah, I actually did it a bunch, 2004, 2005 time frame. It works really, really good, especially if you've got this also. You've really done this. And then the next guy like, but Carl, what about if we had this? And I'm like, yeah, but the problems with that is blah, 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 blah. How do you know this? Well, because shit, I'm doing that way back in Afghanistan. You've done this. Well, and it was like, it was weird because you understand when I went through basic training, they told me Ivan was, 6'6" monster, and I'm supposed to fear this guy, this former Soviet Union guy on the modern battlefield. And I get to Ukraine, and all these guys are like this tall. I'm the biggest guy in the room. But I thought about it, and the Ukrainians hadn't been to combat since, and they did some stuff in Ethiopia and everything. I got that, but for the most part, since Afghanistan in the 80s. So here I am talking about 15 or basically 11 years of combat ops doing sniper operations, and yeah, I had a very captured audience. It was a very, very weird feeling. At the end, I had a guy, he was with kind of like their version of the CIA, but he was a former tanker army guy. And he's giving me a ride back to the airport. His name was Nicholas. That's the only reason why I can remember his name. Same name as my son. And he goes, Carl, you are a nice guy. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, you are a nice guy. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, no, Carl, you do not understand. When I was in the army, the tanker, to keep our tank crews awake at night to pull guard duty. We told them that the American Green Berets, in order for you to, win your hat, you had to sneak in and slit the throat of somebody guarding a tank. And so you see, Carl, to all of us, you are the boogeyman, but you really a nice guy. And I'm like, okay, Nick, I guess I am. I was told all you Ivan motherfuckers were 6'6", and here you are about as tall as my daughter. So yeah, I guess it's kind of fun. I'm a nice guy. We get along. And funny stuff. But yeah, there's what you guys are going to see, especially from my vets out there. A lot of you guys, you got out in the 90s, or you got out 2005, you got out 2010, you got out 2015. You understand you've been out for 8 years or 15 years or 20 years. And I know tactics stalemate for a lot, right? But we have reached that point in military history where tactics are taking another big turn. And what I mean by a turn, guys, is when you guys watch the movie The Patriot with whatever his name is there, it's a movie about the Civil War. The Revolutionary War. When you look at that movie, you see rows of guys standing there with rifles, and they actually march out across the field till they're within 100 meters of each other. And then they take turns volley firing. And all of us look at it and you're like, there's no way you could get me to do that. Piss on that. I'd hide behind a tree. All right, but understand those tactics were cutting edge right up to the birth of gunpowder and the introduction of gunpowder to the armies of Europe. That's where all these armies came from. You understand, we were trained by the British, all right? And they were typically fighting the French and other people in Europe using those same tactics. They were very, very efficient. And it takes a couple decades sometimes for tactics, for people to realize, we told you it didn't work. It still doesn't work. And then finally tactics change. And for America, that basically happened Spanish-American War, even the Civil War. There was still, you can see people on the battlefield still using archaic tactics because that's what they learned at the War College. Well, same thing right now. You've got units all over the world that are still training in 1990s conventional tactics, and they're getting over to Ukraine and they're getting their asses handed to them. Drones, for example, and you guys have heard me say it before, if you, even as a civilian, do not own a drone and are not learning to fly a drone and not, teach your sons and your daughters how to fly drones, you are missing out big time, because drones have been in use by U.S. Special Ops for 15 years now, all right? And I'm not talking Predator drones. I'm talking, all right, you go to do a call out, the bad guy's there, you land all your helicopters, guy doesn't want to come out of the house, you call on the loudspeaker, bad guy doesn't want to come out, he's there because the Predator drone's got his cell phone locked up. I take a drone off of your back, hook it, fly it, and it's got a 19-gram shape charge in the bottom of it, blow a hole through the roof. I then take the next drone off your back, rehook it up, fly it, lower it down through the hole, fly through the house, and nobody. All right, now go, let me lower it down, look under the bed. There's Abu Shidad hiding underneath the bed. And you can talk through the drone, say, hey, come on, Woodchuck, come on out. We got the place surrounded. If he shoots the drone with his AK, I take the next drone off of your back, hook it to the phone, fly it to Android, by the way, is what we use in the military. They'll fly back down through the hole, bring it right up over the bed, fire off the 19-gram shape charge, and kill the guy. That is 10 to 15-year-old tactics already. And guys, there is some awesome awesome stuff out there. One thing you guys are going to see, and it'll probably be out, I'd have to check the calendar, but we actually just filmed 2 drone videos. One is drone operator, tactical drone operator, and the other one is tactical drone defense. And we filmed those 2 videos kind of to give you guys a taste of what we're talking about. Byron Russell is a friend of mine. You've seen him on a live stream before. I'm going to have him come up again. We're going to talk more about this drone stuff. But he actually teaches courses to the military about using these drones. And I talked to him about it. And we've added 2 courses to our Tactical Rifleman calendar. You guys can sign up at tacticalrifleman.com. First one I want to say is like October, November timeframe. It is Tactical Drone Operator. It's a 2-day course. And then the second course I want to say is beginning of December. Don't quote me on that, but it's later on in the year. And he's only got 9 slots for that class. 2 are already full. So 7 slots left. That is Tactical Drone Defense. That is a 4-day course. But anyway, drones is just one example, guys. Thermals, fighting with thermals, fighting against thermals, and there are so many other weapons, weapons for jamming GPSs, all right, and all your other RF energy, putting that big bubble out there on the battlefield. If you don't have good GPS coverage, it is very hard for modern units to do land navigation in the dark because nobody knows how to use map and compass anymore. It is very hard for vehicles to do land nav, but it is very, very hard for a satellite guided bomb to hit what it's supposed to hit. You understand a JDAM can hit a 1 meter by 1 meter square. So in other words, if they took all the explosives out of it and filled it with concrete, that 2,000-pound bomb, you could still kill a dude with it, all right? But if you don't have good GPS coverage, it's going to go, I got no idea where to go. And it's just going to fall. And you might as well be dropping dumb bombs, and they're about 100 grand cheaper a piece. All right, more questions coming in. All right. Already did that one. All right, here is one from Without Further Ado. Carl, I see you need cheaters to read. Do you find that your pistol front sight is getting blurry? If so, what's the fix? What I did is my pistol dot is fine. I have prescription shooting glasses in just one lens. I have prescription shooting glasses, but I've actually had surgery in my right eye. I've had the lens in my right eye replaced, and that's so I can do rifle and everything. I have it set for infinity. With the understanding that, you understand, guys, the reason why you need glasses when you get older is that lens in your eye is flexible, and how your eye focuses is it bows that lens. But what's bowing that lens is little itty bitty muscles, and those muscles fatigue the older you get. So the lens is fine, but it can't bend anymore. So what you'll find is you're good for normal center viewing, but way, way, way out, it'll be a little blurry because it can't bend out that far. And then in close, it can't bend the lens the other way. So you'll find that I will use reading glasses. But my pistols is perfectly good out here. Run a red dot. Honest, with a red dot, what it's allowing you to do is it's allowing you to focus on your target and not on the reticle itself. And it'll serve you very, very well. I'll get the other eye done eventually, but not right now. All right, so I had another one come in here. Next one is from TAC Driver 10. Is the Enforce IR weapon-mounted light rifle light worth buying? I have mixed opinions on Enforce. I know guys that have been running them for quite a while. They don't have any problems with them. I personally do not have any experience with their IR white light combo. I don't. What I will say is Streamlight seems to work very, very well from what people have told me. But I run my work guns, guys. There are certain things I won't skimp on. And one thing I will not skimp on is a weapon mounted light on my work gun. I have all these O-lights and everything else on all these other guns and Streamlights and this, that, and the other. Viridian makes good lights. Crimson Trace makes good lights. But my work pistol, my Glock 45, has a X300 Vampire, which has a white light off and IR light, and then that same head is on my Surefire Scout Vampire that is on my work rifle. Again, it's on white light, or you can lock it to off, or you can go all the way to IR and the switches will work. On IR, I have the cable so it will run married with my D-ball, so I still have my aiming laser, my IR laser with that IR flashlight indoors and outdoors. I can turn off the flashlight and run the IR illuminator to give me light out at 100, 150 meters. I'll tell you what, get it and let me know what you think. Let me know how it holds up. Already did that one. Cheaters, I already did that one. Did that one. All right, do you need your own drone for class? No, you do not. That's the cool part about Byron is, I'm not going to say how many hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of drones Byron's got, but let's put it this way. Byron has a set class size because he has got identical state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line military drones for everybody to use. And you're going to learn on the best equipment, and then you go home. And now, that said, if you have a drone, your own, I encourage you to bring it to class because Byron can give you constructive criticism with it, and there will actually be drills that Byron will probably have you do with your own drone. But what you're going to see is the military drones, for example, have they don't immediately send all their data to China like your normal military, like all your civilian drones in the US basically run off of the Chinese software. And yeah, they've completely cornered that. And I think that is wrong. And so does Trump. But I know everybody hates Trump. I mean, what does he know? All right, Michael Trejo threw down 10 bones. Hey, Carl, been a fan of your channel since 2016, 17. Love what you do. You are a great American. Best wishes from this former Marine grunt in Hawaii. Aloha. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for your service too. Guys, so I've just started working on my taxes and not like actually doing them, right? But I've got to get out I got to get out my 1099s to all my instructors. And when Biden got elected, all of a sudden it's like everybody relaxed. They're like, all right, there's not going to be a civil war now. Number one, there was never going to be a civil war. But the mainstream media has been pumping out their brainwashing shit so much that everything's peaceful, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. I know the economy looks bad, but it's really good. The economy's good. The economy's good. The economy's peaceful. and there's therefore less people have been signing up for training. Okay, so anyway, and I talked to a lot of other instructors. Attendance for 2023 went down pretty well across the board. Okay, no big deal. If people don't want to take classes, that's fine. I'll still put on my classes. It just means I don't use as many instructors because I bring no more than 5 students per instructor. So if I've got 11 students, I will have 3 instructors there. Hell, if I got 10 students, I'll have 3 instructors there. All right, I'm a big believer in have more instructors, but smaller classes, I'm paying less instructors. So the outlook for 2024 is okay. I mean, I know I haven't really started advertising yet, but like I've got all these classes coming up in March in Texas, and I don't have anybody signed up yet. I've only got I think got 5 guys signed up. My max cap size for the class is 20 people, and I don't have anybody signed up yet. Okay, it's a long way, and again, that's the last week of March. I got that. I've got time, but I need to start filling these classes. We'll see. You understand there's a lot of people that are predicting 2024 to be a crappy year. Okay, but to me, that's a lot of people that are just talking out the side of their heads. But people that I actually listen to, and there, you understand there's a lot of think tanks out there that I respect. I get a couple, there's one called the Early Bird. I get a couple different emails every morning when I wake up. Talking to them, 2024 is going to be loud. It's going to be loud. There's going to be a lot of saber rattling, but stuff's not going to come to head till 2025, 2026. Okay, so that's good news, right? No, it's really not, because when it comes to a head, it's going to come to a head really, really big. And I mentioned we're already in 2024. So basically, you need to be getting your house in order. And that means training also. So you can kick the can down the road if you want and hope for good things. I'm just not really good at that. All right. I just got a reminder here. We have us a winner. That's kind of cool. All right, let's see who our winner is. All right. James Engel. James Engel, you are the winner. All right, James, congratulations. James Engel, here's the deal. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to take a picture of your avatar on YouTube, so I know it's actually you and it's not Ray Craddock posing as you. All right. And James Engel, email a picture of your avatar with whatever mailing address you want it sent to, and send it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. Good stuff. Wow, I'm a half hour late announcing it. Thank you, Susan, for reminding me. You didn't have to call me a damn peanut, but that's okay. I'm completely good with that. Sorry, Susan, I missed where you had mentioned it earlier. All right. Again, guys, if you want to get your own coaster, again, these things are sexy, dude. It got the TR logo on it. You want to get your own coaster. It is Snyder Precision Engraving on Instagram. Just reach out to them, tell them that you're part of the asylum, and ask them to hook you up. All right. So, James, congratulations on winning. For those of you that didn't win, think of it this way. You came in second place. How's that? All right. Got another one here. All right. This one is TAC Driver 10. Question for Carl is Meprolite optics any good? Honest, I don't have any experience with them. I don't. I know there's a lot of people that bash Meprolite on the web, okay? But there's a lot of people that bash Olight on the web. And, excuse me, good coffee. One thing I'll say about Olight is when it comes to tactical lights, like their weapon-mounted lights, yeah, they are definitely not mil spec, definitely not. But for rifles at home, for stuff like that, I have an EDC pistol. I have the Valkyrie PL2, the Mini Valkyrie PL2, a little bitty light, and I keep that thing. It stays on the charger when it's sitting there unloaded. I dry fire 5 reps every morning into the mirror with whatever outfit I'm wearing, and then I load it and put it on. And that light I said I was going to run it until it died, and then I was going to put my Surefire back on. And it's got to be 3 years old now, 4 years old. It's been a long time. So there are certain Olights that are totally badass, totally badass. One thing I will say though is on a combat gun, I do not like rechargeable lights that I'm not constantly in access of. Like that's an EDC carry thing. I keep it on the charger. I'm aware of it, touching it literally every day. But an example is my truck gun that sits in the back of the Jeep, okay? That thing stays there forever. I'll bring it out on the range every so often, hit that weapon mounted light. It runs off of CR123s. They're never gonna let me down. When it starts getting dim, I swap them out, no big deal. It's got an EOTech on that gun with a 3X magnifier. Check it every so often. Hey, it's running great, all right? But a rechargeable light does not hold a charge as well as a CR123 does. So you won't see me running rechargeable on my go-to-war guns. That's just about it on that. Guys, let's see if there's anything else I wanted to beat y'all up about. If my son's watching, I want to say, thank you for all of his hard work on these videos. He's already sent me, he's working on the drone video. He just threw together one. We had Big Al, you guys know Big Al, right? Big Al did one on weapons maintenance, and it's a great video. He's already got the first draft on that one done. But if you guys hadn't noticed, my son has been putting up 1-minute shorts on YouTube, and they're just clips of some of our old videos. Some of those videos are 15, 20 minutes long. My son kind of flips through it, pulls out 1 minute. Most of the time, it's a decent minute. And, but yeah, we're still over 4 million views this month. Down a lot, but still, share our videos if you like them, guys, and help me keep this algorithm going here. If you're interested in taking classes, 2024, we've got a bunch of new classes up, but we've also taken some of our other classes like combat pistol and combat pistol carbine, and we have modified them. We've taken out some of the stuff, we've streamlined them, we've added a few more other things to them. So again, if you've never taken one of our courses, I would recommend combat pistol. And then if you're a pistol carbine guy, stay the next 2 days and then do combat pistol carbine. And you'll be doing transition drills and one-handed pistols and reloads and barricades and all kinds of fun stuff. Battle Rifle 1 is a new course this year that basically most of these shooting courses you go to, they do pew from like 5 meters out to 25. You might shoot 100 meters tops, but almost all the drills are made for CQB distances. That's fine, but that's pistol distance. Of course, I'd rather have a rifle in that gunfight, but I'd rather fight somebody at 300 meters than 5 meters. I want to have any advantage I can get. So Battle Rifle 1, you will shoot targets at as close as 50 meters, but we stretch you all the way out to 300 meters, maybe a little bit past that, depending on the range that we're at. So that is a one-day class. Now, if you've never shot that far, the day prior is what's called Carbine Zero Mastery. Matter of fact, if you're going to sign up for Battle Rifle 1, you'd be a fool not to take Carbine Zero Mastery, because you will zero dead on balls accurate at 200, and you'll get your holdovers for 250, 300, and 400 meters. And it's really going to help you a lot at Battle Rifle 1. I am having special steel targets made just for Battle Rifle 1, and they're actually cutting the steel tomorrow. You do not even want to know how much these things are going to cost me. But here's the cool part. If they work out really, really good, I'll be saying, hey, you guys need to pick up some of these targets. So we shall see. We shall see. But anyways, other classes, we're doing aerial gunnery from a Little Bird helicopter, one-day class. Again, that one's in Texas. We're actually moving that class to the day after the NRA show. The NRA show is in Dallas. That's actually where the helicopter is. We're going to move the helicopter class to May 20th. It's a Monday. So if you're interested in that class, you've got time to schedule getting time off from work. That will be May 20th. And I don't know if you want to go to the NRA show or not. I know a lot of guys bash the NRA. I support the NRA. I support NAGR. I support Gun Owners of America, especially Gun Owners of America. But I like going to the NRA convention simply because, unlike like I'm going to SHOT Show next Wednesday. And SHOT Show's great, but it's all sellers and buyers. I like going to the NRA convention because it's all Americans that like guns. And it is gun-loving, great Americans. There's no gangbangers. There's no Antifa pieces of shit. It's people that love America. And so anyways, I enjoy going to the NRA show. And then I have a private class 2 days, but I'm actually going to miss the first day of the convention because I have a private class. I'm teaching down outside of Dallas, actually a couple hours south, 2-day class there. But the private class, don't ask. And then NRA convention, and then the very next day is the aerial gunnery class, shooting from a Little Bird helicopter. We already talked quite a bit about the low light, no light shooting course. Again, we're doing that twice this year. We're doing high risk travel 1 twice this year. I've already had requests to do a couple private high risk travel courses. I don't mind doing that if you can bring a group together large enough. I don't mind doing private classes, but understand it has to be cost effective for me and my staff, because it involves us planning surveillance, counter surveillance routes. There's more than just give me a classroom and have me show up. There's so much more that goes into that course. May is I don't remember the name of it, but it is a big mountain survival, it's a big survival readiness expo that is in North Carolina in May. I'm sorry, I don't have the name of it off the top of my head. But I will be at that seminar for 3 days. You pay one price, you get into it. It's all 1 hour little blocks by different instructors. Me and Emery will be there. I think Sularu will be there. Chris Weatherman will be there. Randy Wurst will be there. There's going to be a bunch of great instructors. There are a bunch of great instructors. You get to sign up for, you can take an hour with this instructor, hour with this instructor. So if you want to learn, slaughtering and preparing chickens, you want to learn, pressure canning, you want to learn this, you want to learn that. But we'll also be doing like AR rifles for women. We'll be doing an hour, how to set up your kit, stuff like that. That's a 3-day class. We're going to be staying out at the local campsite. We're all going to have campers, nice little area get together. If you're coming, we'd love to have you camp with us. But then when everybody leaves, me and Emery are staying for 5 more days. We're doing combat pistol, followed by combat pistol carbine. That's day 2, day 3. There's a night shoot on day 2. And then day 4 and 5 is a 2-day high-risk concealed carry course. That's pistol only. So anyways, if you're in Western Kentucky and you're looking for classes to get, we've got a few in the chat room that I know, looking at their names, that have already signed up for that. For example, Susan. There's a bunch of great training being done there. Again, you want to check out all these classes, you can go check them out at our actual channel, tacticalrifleman.com. If you've never been there before, you can see bios for all the instructors. Those of you that are new here, you don't know my background. I had somebody say, they ask you all the time, were you ever in the military? We know you can shoot, but were you ever in the military? And I go, yeah, I served. Right. But you can see bios on like Jason Phelan and Emery and Randy Worst and all of our other instructor staff. But we also have another one there. We have our store, so if you want to buy shirts and yoga pants that have the TR logo on them, coffee mugs, all that stuff. But you can also purchase courses there. We also have our Amazon store there. So if you want to buy one of the books off of my Amazon book list, but you also want to buy your wife a new flat screen TV, do it on Amazon through my Amazon store. That way I get credit for it. But we also have another tab there that's called Companies We Love. And you go there and there's a list of companies that I actually enjoy working with. Brownells, for example. That's where guys like, Carl, where do you get your gun parts? I'll be honest with you, I seem to always go to the same place. I always go to Brownells because that's where I've been going for 20 years. So we have a link there. And obviously Nutrient Survival, Sportsman's Guide, Primary Arms, companies like that, MGM Targets. That you go there and we'll have it written down whether we have a affiliate code or a promo code so you guys can save some money. Good stuff indeed. All right. All right. It's called Mountain Readiness. You can go to mountainreadiness.com for info. Susan, if you want to put that in the chat room, that would be awesome. I appreciate that. Good stuff indeed. What's this one? Can we rent a rifle for the helo class? Yeah, as a matter of fact, the helicopter crews will have guns there. You don't have to bring guns at all. You bring your own ammo, or you can buy ammo from them. If you want to shoot my rifle, I will have my rifle there. My rifle, guys, is still a prototype. I'm coming up on the end of finalizing the last few changes to it. And once that is done and I get it in hand and I bless off on it, you guys will be able to buy my new piston AR. It is a 13.7-inch barrel with a pinned Surefire War Comp. So it is legal 16-inch length. It's got a nice trigger that you can dry fire with. And it's got a multi-position gas block. Again, it's a piston, so you can run a suppressor, dirty ammo, clean ammo, does not matter. We ran it the other day, and I want to say we put about 900 rounds through it in 30 minutes. I was letting multiple students shoot this thing to run this little course of fire. And they got the end, and the guy's like, man, you didn't tell me how much that gun got hot. He's talking about the handguard. And I'm like, man, but see how hot this is. And I pushed that back pin. I cracked the gun open. I pulled out the bolt carrier group, and I touched it to the side of his head. And he about flipped out. And then he thought about it. And he's like, that's not hot. I'm like, no, the bolt is hot, but the bolt carrier is not hot because it's a piston. And pistons stay clean. They really do, guys. I can't tell you how clean that gun runs. It's pretty amazing. Really is amazing. All right. Carl, now do you secure your truck gun or other vehicle firearms? How do you secure? I have a big lockbox in the back of my Jeep. It is steel on all sides, very, very secure. My Suburban, I have a center console button you push to get to a small pistol. My Jeep has 3 separate lock boxes in it. The whole glove box has been replaced. There's a replacement glove box that is completely steel on all sides with a 5-pin key. And I have a lockbox on the center console, a lockbox under the seat, and then the big lockbox in the trunk where the rifle is kept. If you're going to travel with a firearm across state lines, you don't know what states you're going. If you want to be safe and secure from lawyers and attorneys, have your rifle in a locked box with padlocks and do not have ammo in the same box. I have a bandolier with magazines, M855A1. They do not need to be in that box. All right, so even if you get pulled over driving through New York City, you are guaranteed as a U.S. citizen to your right of interstate travel. So long as you are on an interstate highway, all right, you have an argument in court. Understand you're still going to go to court. You will get your guns back, but you ain't getting them back right away. But you will have a good, strong argument if you had it in a locked case, not accessible by the driver, and there's no ammo in the box with you. Understand that is illegal in a lot of states. I got that. I understand that. All right. There's a lot of lawyers that will tell you, don't bring a gun anywhere, leave them all at home. Good luck with that. And there are other lawyers out there that tell you, don't worry about it. Just do whatever the fuck you want. I disagree with that. I want you to meet somewhere in the middle. All right. I will always have that EDC pistol to get me to my rifle, but my rifle will always, always, always be locked up. All right. Because here's the deal, guys. People can smash out your windows. They grab your go bag. Understand that's got mags, that's got nods, it's got a suppressor, it's got your Surefire SVL2, and all the things that you need. If you're in a fight or flight situation without your vehicle, okay. But you don't let them get your truck gun. That is some good coffee right there. All right, we got a couple more, guys. I'm trying to get through. I really am. All right. I think I got that one already. Got that one. Carl, could you do a video on how to set up a trade barter in a possibly hostile environment? I say civil society hypothetically collapsed. Honest, I'm not a subject matter expert on that. I'm really not. What I will say is I believe everybody should be prepared. And if you talk to FEMA, and you guys understand FEMA works for you, right? The government works for you. So don't just say, well, it's FEMA, they're the bad guys. No, the FEMA works for you. All right, FEMA recommends that everybody has 2 weeks of food. All right, food, water, all that stuff. Okay, start with that. I know a lot of you on fixed incomes, or you don't have a lot of disposable income, or you live in a little apartment. I got that. I got that. I was there. All right. The first couple of years my wife were married, I was in the Army. Hamburger helper, guys. Homemade soup. That's, you know, I got it. I understand. Money still means a lot to me. Once you get 2 weeks of food and water for your family, right? A bad ice storm. I got snow outside, right? I don't usually have snow right now, all right? It could have been an ice storm instead of a snowstorm. We would have lost power, all right? Once you've got 2 weeks, then do a month, all right? Just grab some more stuff. Build the habit of rotating the cans and the stocks, your stock of stuff in the pantry, okay? But buy things that your family likes to eat. Don't just stock up on MREs and crazy stuff like that. Once you've got a month, get 3 months for your food, for your family. But once you do that, you're not just getting food and water, you're going to realize you need toiletries. You're going to need, right, toilet paper. You're going to need tools. You're going to need medical. You're going to start noticing that your blinders are coming off, and there's a large laundry list of things that you need. And I can point you guys towards Excel spreadsheets that you can get online. Survivalblog.com is a great place that you can go for downloadable spreadsheets. It's a whole Rosalian theory, and I'm not saying you guys should go that deep down the rabbit hole, but once you've gotten the 3-month mark, you're going to find that there are other things that you need, and you're going to get opened up to a bigger and better world. And at the same time, you're going to see that there's a lot of other people that are not prepared, that you as a good person, and whether you're a good Christian or you're a good whatever, you're a good person. We can't take everybody in, but we can help as much as we can, right? So you're going to have stuff that you can share with people. That said, there will be things that you will have in excess, but there'll be other things that you don't have. And that's what money's for, right? So you can buy things. Except 8 out of 10 scenarios have the American dollar basically going down to being worthless. And that basically leads you to what am I going to trade? Hence the word barter. Ammo will always be a great currency, and I don't mean you using it to take other people's stuff. I mean 22 long rifle ammo, 12 gauge ammo, 9mm ammo will always be great currency. You can carry a pocket of 9mm, and they're like little agates of gold to people that don't have any 9mm ammo left. All right, 22 long rifle the same way. All right, but alcohol, prescription drugs, medical, honey, things that have great shelf life are great to barter. But so I want you to consider bartering, but as far as setting up a secure place to barter, no, you're not going to open your local Costco. What you'll find is your farmer's market that's in all the little stores, or all the little towns have a little farmer's market. That's probably where people are going to gravitate later on down the road. But you should not be the one establishing it. You let other people establish it. You stay back, you wait, you see if things are safe, you feel them out, and then you come forward. And just be cautious letting people know what you have. You understand now, me sitting here, and it pisses my wife off to no end that I have allowed all of you guys into my world, right? Because you should not be telling people that you have firearms. You should not be telling people that you have ammo. You should not be telling people that you care about your family enough to plus up your cupboards on foods and supplies. And you've got to be careful with who you share that with. So me making that decision, and we did this a few years ago, I want to make the world a better place. I believe God put me here to make the world a better place. God loves me. I did a lot of God's work with my sniper rifle. And I know he loves my work. I know he does. But I believe he still has other uses for me. And if I can help some of you by sharing some of my mistakes and successes, then, and I can help y'all, hopefully I can do that without risking my family too much, guys. So, I don't know, we'll see. I pity the fool that wants to come up on the hill to try to take my stuff. I really, really pity the fool. because you understand most of the tactical rifleman team is going to be on the hill with me. And pity the fool, pity. More guns for the hill, right? All right, let's change the subject. Y'all some morbid son of a guns. Y'all really are. All right, we're going to wrap this up here, guys. Got just a minute left. All right, this is my last question right here from Joe Blow. Hi, Carl. Question, 14.5 inch or 16 inch AR for shit hit the fan thoughts. I just mentioned I went with a 13.7 with a pinned break. I want you to be legal 16 inches. Here's why. You should never have an AR 5.56 shorter than 10.5 inches. If you go any shorter than that, a 9-inch barrel, 8-inch barrel, you're getting a big fireball out there, and it looks cool on the range doing pew-pew, but that big fireball is gunpowder that's not being used to prepare your bullet, and you might as well be shooting .22 long rifle, because that .22 caliber bullet is not going fast enough, all right, to get good secondary cavitation inside the human body. So you need at least 10.5 inches. So why not go with a 10.5 inch upper? The problem with getting a 10.5 inch upper is that is now a short barreled rifle, and it has to be registered with the ATF. And I have one that's registered. The problem with that is that 10.5 inch upper tax stamp, I'm supposed to let the ATF know every time I cross state lines. Where are you going with it? Why are you traveling with a 10.5 inch upper, a short barreled rifle? Got to let us know. And then they're going to reach out to wherever I say I'm going, that class or whatever, at such and such range. And then such and such range has to tell them yes or no. And if they say no, then the ATF denies your piece of paper requesting to cross state lines. I live 6 miles from a state line. I'm supposed to ask permission to drive 6 miles. So I leave it at home. I bring my 13.7 with a pinned break, legal 16 inch, and I don't have to worry about paperwork. It is a legal gun. It performs very, very well. So that's what I would point you. Go with 16 inch, guys. Go with 16 inch. Avoid all the paperwork. I know as of right now, the ATF cannot complain about you having a pistol brace on it, blah, blah, blah. That's until Biden wins the re-election, and then you have got so many new gun laws coming, and y'all are going to be hiding your shit and doing canoe rides to dump them. It's going to be awesome. All right, so anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up tonight. I want to thank my moderators for taking such good care of all of you here. I want to thank Venture Surplus again for sponsoring. You know, again, you want to help support me, go to venturesurplus.com. Check out what they got. All right, and if you buy something in a little note, say, hey, Tactical Rifleman sent me here. All right, cool, help them out, and you get some, I'll tell you, man, they've got all the new Marpat stuff. They've got all the good polypropylene, thermal underwear. They've got everything that you need for doing ops in the winter. Great stuff indeed. All right, I will see you guys next Monday, not Tuesday. Next week's live stream we're going to do on Monday night, not Tuesday, because Tuesday morning I fly to Vegas for SHOT Show, and I will not be into my hotel in time to do the live stream. All right, so and it's Vegas. All right, so you guys relax. I'll see you Monday night, 7 p.m. right back here. It's going to be totally awesome. Steve Holland, I think, is going to be here next Monday. I know you guys have missed Steve a lot. Yeah, again, a big shout out. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. It is truly awesome hanging out with you guys. It really is. All right, so that's all I got. You all take care and shoot straight.